You know how to make an Illustrator already. They know how to use Illustrator already. Okay, again, we'll start by making a Illustrator file for a back button. So if you don't have Illustrator in your dock, I don't know why I don't have Illustrator in my dock. I need to put Illustrator in my dock. There we go. Okay, so the beauty of using Illustrator is that you can make vector graphics and have those vector graphics inside of Xcode. So again, I'm going to start with a new file. Don't worry about size right now. The most important thing maybe is the color, making sure it's in RGB color. So inside the new window, inside of Illustrator, right? This is the new window. It's the first window that shows up. Let's not worry about dimension at this moment. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Maybe the key here is if you choose print, which is 8.5 by 11, right? You choose print up there. If I choose print at the top, this is the standard letter size. But the problem with print is that it thinks you want to do color, CMYK, which is printing colors, right? We don't want printing colors. We want screen colors, right? So the only thing I would say that if you choose print 8.5 by 11, which is standard size, just make sure you change the color here to RGB. Here. So change the color to RGB and then hit a create. Illustrator gives you this to make a nice simple triangle for a back button. I'm going to use the vector tools here. So if you count down on the left side of the toolbar here, if you count down the left side of the toolbar, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 5 down is a rectangle tool. If I hold my mouse down over top of that, you'll notice there's more options. So some of the more options might be a polygon. If you want to make a triangle, a polygon's kind of close to a triangle. So again, it's the 5th one down on the left side. I'm going to choose the polygon tool, and I'm going to go click on the screen and let my mouse up. Don't drag, just click and let the mouse up. It'll ask you how many sides. How many sides are in a triangle? 3. Put 3 in there. Put 3 in there. Hit OK. It makes a triangle. Of course, that triangle is the wrong color. Is white. Unless you want a white design, but I'm going to put a color in there. So notice over here is a color option right there. I'm going to put a color in there. How about green for go? Green for go. How about that? Don't worry about size. It'll shrink to the window size that you have it inside of Xcode. Right? We're going to put an image in there and it'll shrink. Now, of course, we don't want the arrow pointing up. We want it to point to what? The back. Usually back is to the left, right? You can see a back button, right? So I'm going to rotate that. To rotate it, put my cursor along the edge. Notice how when my cursor goes to the edge of the triangle, you'll see the arrows pointing in multiple directions. Do you see that? Once I get it pointing in multiple directions, I can hold the left mouse down and drag to the right. If you hold the shift key down, it'll go automatically 90 degrees on the keyboard. Let your finger up. And we got an arrow. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some text that says back. To put text on the screen, I'm going to use the T tool for text. See the T tool? I'm going to go and put it next to it. And I'm going to type in back. And of course it's awful small, so to change the size I'm going to use the black arrow, that's the selection tool at the top here, and I'm going to scale it. So using this black arrow I can scale my back up, 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 and maybe make it a little bigger. And then if you want, you could change the color of that. I might make that green. If you want to change the color, you'll notice you have a color option down here. You can also color that maybe a different green as well. And so that's my ugly back button
The important thing is to know how to save it and bring it into Xcode. I know you can probably make something beautiful in Illustrator. The most important thing is how to save it and bring it into Xcode. Now, of course, one thing I would probably want to do is not have this font be a font. I want to convert it into an object because you don't want to have fonts problems or anything like that. One way to avoid font problems is to convert the letters to objects. To convert the letters to objects in Illustrator is underneath type, create outline. So the type option at the very top up here, it says type, and I'm going to say create outlines. Create outlines. Where's the create outlines? Do you see it in there? Create outlines. It's towards the middle. By using the type create outlines, it makes it into an object. Now, of course, we don't want to save this giant window. Remember, this window is 8.5 by 11. We just want to save the artwork. Just the artwork. So we're going to shrink the artboard, that big white area, down to the size of the artwork, and then save that as a PDF to bring into Xcode. To shrink the artboard down, this white area down to the size of the objects, we select the objects first. So let's select all the objects. Command A selects all the objects. Command A on the keyboard collects all the objects. To shrink down the size of this to the artboard, we go under Object, Artboards, Fit to Artwork Bounds, or Fit to Selected Art. Either one of these. It's all the way down the bottom here. It's under Object, Artboards, Fit to Selected Art. It'll shrink this white thing down. Because the problem is, when you save a PDF, it's going to save this big white box, right? I don't want to have to deal with this giant white box in Xcode. Xcode's going to it'll be all squishy and it won't look very good. You want to shrink the art down to the size of your object. This is how you do it. Again, under Object, Fit to Selected Art. Once it's shrunk down, we're going to go underneath File, Save As. File, Save As. It should have shrunk the artboard down. Did it shrink it down? Yes. Save As. And in the Save As option, change the option to, I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to put it in my folder. Where's my folder? What's my folder called? Jeff's Examples? No. What am I going? I'm saving it somewhere. I have doc. Oh, there it is. Documents, Jeff's Apps, Person App. There it is. Save it in there. Don't save as Illustrator AI. What do we got to change it to? PDF. See right here under Format, PDF. And let's give it a name. This is my back button. Back button PDF. So save that. Leave all the defaults set. Leave all the defaults set. Don't change them. Save PDF. Okay, I'll pause. I'll come over and help you if you have a question. So I'm done with Illustrator. I've saved it. Let's get to Xcode. How about I do this all over again over here. Okay? Let me zoom out. Zoom in. If your picture's not showing up, maybe you have a bad link. Oh, he's still there. So he's showing up. There he is. Okay. You might need to go off and on. So you kind of understand this first screen, right? I don't need to do this one again. I can do this one again. I'm going to delete it. We'll start over. So I think this is a good lesson to think about how to delete something, because deleting things doesn't always remove everything, and that's a problem in this program. Okay, so last week we made this right at the end when I was leaving. I'm going to make this one again. You'll notice I have another view controller scene. You see I have one up here and then one down here, right? One up here, one down here. I'm going to delete this from clicking here. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to delete it from there. It's gone. Okay, so I removed that, and I'm going to start over with that one. So again, I'm going to start from, I already built this. I don't have any programming yet. I'm going to build the second one again with the people. Okay. To start again with the new view controller, I'm going to go up here where the little library is, and I'm going to type in, of course, view controller.
Hi, Jeff.
Mhm.
Quick. How do you delete by just back? Delete?
Use this thing over here. Don't try and click in here. Try and use this to delete the whole scene. You get to click on the top. See where it says view controller? I had a second one here.
Right.
I clicked on it and then deleted it.
Delete key.
Delete key on the keyboard.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. So again, view controller, to put a second view controller, you just drag it out. There it is. To choose the background color, so it's the same. We could choose background color, or we can make it a different background color. It might be nice to have a different background color. Again, I'm going to go to custom, and maybe we give it a nice kind of bluish green. I don't know. I'm going to do a different background color just so we know it's a different scene. What you can do though is, and notice here again, it puts another view controller here, right? You can copy other stuff over though. If you want the title, see the title that's on here? I can hold down the option key on the keyboard and click and drag that over here. Okay, so you can duplicate things. The magic key on the keyboard to duplicate is what? I just told you. Option. So if you can click and drag things from here over to here, and it duplicates it, just like I did with the title. Right? But again, it didn't bring the constraints over. Look, see how it has constraints here? There's no constraints. It doesn't bring the constraints over, so we would have to give it the same constraints if you want. You can copy the constraints from up there and paste them down here. So you can drag inside here. Let's try that. Okay? So the nascent explosion here has some constraints. Which ones are they? You can click up here. Do you see them? I'm selecting them here, selecting them. So I really want the one from the top down, right? I want this one. Or you can, see that? I believe you can drag that in this window to duplicate it. Hold on, I believe I've done this before, where you actually, let me try this. Drag it from here. No, that didn't work. Oh, you can copy and paste, I believe. Command C. No, I thought you could copy that. Okay, I don't remember if I could copy that. I thought I did in the past. Well,
I think Command C and Command V. Right?
Yeah, but that didn't work. It gives me a bad thing. So let's not worry about that. Let's just do it again. So again, how do we put the constraints on here? First thing I'm going to do is center it. That's this one right here. Remember this option, align. And we want what? Vertical or horizontal? Horizontal. It's in the middle. Now it doesn't know how far down it is. To tell it how far down we go, we use this one right here. And we're going to say 29, I believe it was, right? I think it said 29. Let me see again from the top here. I'm going to copy. It says 29. See it? Safe area top, 29. So I'm going to click on this. Go here, type in 29, and hit the red line should show up and say add one constraint. There it is. So that should be in the same spot then. Again, at least I copied the number, right? You want it in the same spot, so I copied the number from here and put it on there. Okay, next we're going to put our grid of our image views out. Remember, you can duplicate those. I'm going to put one out, give it a square size, and then I'm going to duplicate it here, and then I'm going to group them. What's the group called? Stack. Okay, good. You're getting words here. Stack. Then we'll duplicate that down, and then we make it one big stack. Then we center that. So let's try that. Again, here we go. I'm going to make the image view, this one right here. See it, library? Image view. So again, we type in image for image view. You're going to drag that out. I'm going to scale that. I think I wanted it to be square. So I think last time I made it like 120 something by 120 something. Let's see. How about 126 by 126? I think that's what I put it last time. 126 by 126. If you're having trouble getting it to be exact, you can actually type these numbers in. Where can I type these numbers in? Well, if you let your mouse go, you can come down here to the bottom. Down here at the bottom is where you add constraints. You can then type in the width and height here. I'm going to type it in here, 126 by 126. Again, in the constraints option, you can type in dimensions here and say add 2 constraints. Don't worry about the red lines right now. We're going to fix that. Then again, I'm going to duplicate it over to this side. I'm going to duplicate this over here. To duplicate it, again, the magic key on the keyboard is option. I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to release the mouse. Now I have 2 of them, right? To put both of these together into a group, I'm going to select both of them by holding the shift key down to select both of them. And then to group them together, what is it called? Stacks. It's down here with the arrow that points down. See where it says embed in down here at the very bottom, towards the bottom here. I select both of these, go down here and say stack view, and it groups them together. Did you see that? Then I'm going to duplicate that. To duplicate it, I'm going to hold the option key and click and drag. Option, click and drag. And now I have 6, because that's how many photos I have. Next, I'm going to select all of them together and group those together by selecting shift clicking on all these groups, and I'm going to stack those together. To stack them together, I go back to the arrow that points down, and I'm going to say stack view right here, stack view. And it stacks them all together. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I need to align this to the screen. To align this to the screen, I'm going to center it so it's centered on the text. Right here is alignment. I'm going to say horizontal center right there. And then, of course, how far down do I want it from here? I don't know, but I'm just going to guess. I'm going to click on this one right here, and I'm going to say 29.5 is fine. I'm going to click on the little red, see the little red line that's between here and down, and say add 1 constraint, and boom, it's done. So I will come and help you. See if you can. I'm going to import my images first. Where do the images go? Assets, right here. See where it says assets? We did talk about doing all 3 different images, right, for the different screens last class, right? Well, today I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just have 1 image, and we're going to put it in. So how do I bring those images in? If you click in this window, again, assets here, click in the white area right here. You can go under File. There should be an import. Where am I looking for? Where is my import? There is a way to import. I mean, we can drag and drop, but I thought there was an import. Hold on. Add files, the second one. See it right there? The second one under File. Add files to person app. Do you see that? It's the second one under File. Second one under File. Go to your folder. I have a folder with all my stuff. It should automatically go there. You see I have my back button, right? I got my back button. And I have, you can bring them all in at the same time, holding the shift key down to select them all. Look, see how I'm selecting them all? I'm selecting them all. And then say, copy items if needed. That's a good one. That'll keep you from, I think this copy items if needed will bring it into Xcode instead of making a reference to external. There's some issues with that as far as that. This is good to do. Because what it'll do is it'll put it in your folder. So if your images are not in your folder, because right now they're in my folder, right? They're in my folder, but they're not in like these things over here. You really want them to be in where they need to be. This is a good option right here. Copy if needed right here. So I would recommend that. And then hit add, and it'll bring them in. Oh, they need to be over here. Hold on. I want them to be in here, in there, in here, in here. For some reason, they didn't go in the right place. Do you see where I'm dragging them over here? They need to be over here. I don't know. I brought them in. They came here, but then I had to drag them over here. And I don't know why the icon's not really showing. Yeah, something like that. I just, for some reason, it just didn't seem like it was going right. But that's okay. Again, I brought them in. They were over here, and I dragged them in. They need to be in this window somehow. Need to be here. Once you get them in this window, though, once they're in the assets folder here, you can then go back to the main storyboard here, and then I can click on each image view twice, And then here in the upper right corner, you'll see where it says image. I'm going to choose my image. Oh, that didn't show up. Okay, so that's not working. Oh, there they are. Then I'm going to choose Nathan 1. Oh, then it gave me PNG. Oh, it did give me multiple versions. I don't know. I didn't import them right. I should have just dragged them in. Whatever. Let's put it in there. Let me zoom in so you can see the image. Okay, so once you have an image, here's the option. So again, up here in the upper corner is where you choose the image. Here's the option down here of how it's going to be in the window. Right now, the default here says scale to fill. Do you see that? Scale to fill. You got aspect fit. Notice that what it did was it shrunk it down so the dimensions were correct of the original image, but of course it's not square, so it kind of shrunk it down in the window. That's called aspect fill. You got aspect fill. It shrinks it up, but notice how it goes over top of the image, right? Do you see that? Did you see that? Right? It goes outside the area. You got redraw. It kind of scales it down again. Center, it messes it all up. Basically, I think that center puts it as default, whatever the dimensions are of the original image. Top, bottom, left, right, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Okay, so there's some content mode here. The key here is that if you go to where it says scale to fill, again, it's going to squish it a little bit, and he's going to look a little squished. But you can also go to where it says aspect fit. Again, it fits in there, but you have the edges. Or if you go to aspect fill, it kind of scales it outside. The key here is that you can cut off the outside. I just have to remember how to do that. Clip to bounds down here, I believe it is right here. See where it says clip to bounds? I believe that's it right there. Do you see it right here? This one, so again, if you use the aspect fill, see that right there? Aspect fill? You can then go to where it says clip to bounds. What that does is it cuts off, so it scales it to the size of the window, right? And then it cuts off the top and bottom. So, you know, you've got to just decide how you're going to have your photo. Does that make sense? So you have some options. Just think about how you want them to be. I like mine to fit all nice in there. So again, here's the aspect fill, and then here is the clip to bounds right here. Clip to bounds. Let's try another one. Image view. Image here. Image 2. Look at this one. It's all scaled and squished. That doesn't look good. I'm going to say fit. There we go. And then, again, clip to bounds. Do you see that? Again, choose another one. I'm going to choose image 3. I have a third. Yeah, I do have a 3. And then, again, aspect fill. And then clip to bounds. Again, this is another image. Aspect fill, clip to bounds. This one, choose a fifth image. Aspect fill, clip to bounds. And then this one, last one, number 6. Aspect fill, clip to bounds. And you can move that in there, I believe. After you do the clip to bounds, I think you could drag it. No? I thought you could drag it in there. Maybe if we go top. No. I think there's a way to move it in there. Down here. But the default is kind of easy right there. Let me pause this. Again, I got this piece in here. It doesn't have any constraints. Might be best to center it too. I'm going to center it. Let me center it horizontally. And then let me go down from the top. Oh, did you see that? It changed. Oh, I didn't give it a size. That's what I did wrong. Let me undo this. Let me undo that. We should give it a size. when I aligned it to the center. First, let me give it a size. Let's just do this, width and height right there. Then let me center it. And then let me align from the top down. And then let's have this, let's have this stack here. Align from the top down of that. There we go. Okay, so this is aligned from the top down. This is aligned all the way from the top down as well, but then this is aligned, the stack view. Again, I'm clicking over here to select the entire stack is aligned to the back button. So that should work now. That should work now. The navigation is this one right here, right? Pictures, right? Pictures is going to go to this one over here. Then the back button's going to go back to this one. How do we do that? If you remember, we do that by holding down what key? The control key, right? Control, click and drag. See that? Remember the control, click and drag? Let the mouse go. And we use show. Right? So that then goes there. Again, control, click and drag. Control, click and drag. It goes there. So we have one way. Now we need it to go back. Now if you remember from the color example that we did, remember the color example? We need to give it some code in the code. And then we tell it to exit. Do you remember that? We can bring up, let me bring the color example up so we can see. Let me test it first. Let's test it real quick. Let's make sure it goes. Let me test it. Let me test it. Let me test it. Okay, so far so good. If I click on pictures, it goes to there. Right? Now we need to go back. There's no way to get back. Okay? There's no way to get back. So to get back, we need to go to the exit. Let me bring up the color example. It was in here. And it was what was it? 3.8? Was it? Something like that? 3.8? No. Was it 3.7? .6 maybe. Was it this one? Yeah, here it is. Okay, here we go. We need to put this code in the right spot too. Remember that? So here's the code right there. This is the code you put into your example right there. Remember unwind to red? Remember that? This is a made-up word. We could just call it back, whatever you want. They just called it unwind to red because we were going back to the red one, right? And then we have an unwind segue, and then the UI storyboard segue, and it goes back. So again, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy that. So let's make sure. To begin, it's at the Swift Project Navigator, method of the following view did load function. You can name it anything you want, but it must take the UI storyboard segue as its only parameter. This one right here. Unwind segue can be tricky understanding at first glance. By adding the function takes a storyboard segue as a parameter to any scene view controller definition. You're telling the interface builder the scene is valid destination for unwinding the segue. Okay, so again, copy this, and then it goes dismiss, and then you take the dismiss and you drag it here. All right, okay, so here, let's try it. Again, to bring up the code view, you're going to go to the Olympic symbol, right? Remember the Olympic symbol up here? The Olympic symbol, right? See it up here, the Olympic symbol? Brings up your code. Oh, that's not the right code view. We want the, which one do we want? We want not this code view. We want the, you need to have the, the Swift file. We want the view controller. This one. You need the view controller Swift. This one. And then we put it down here, right? Do you remember that? Put it down there. Uh-oh. I copied too much. Hold on. Oh, jeez, really? And then this has a round bracket. Round bracket. Is that it? I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, hold on. Let me do it again. All right, how many of these errors I'm going to get here? Let's just type it. How about that? I'm just trying to copy and paste. You've just created a short sequence of segues. At the moment, though, there's no way to return to the red level once you've done that. Okay, you'll create something called an unwind segue while the segue transition to an RC and an unwind segue transition from the current scene to return to a previous display scene. To begin, select the view controller Swift, which we have here. In the project navigator, add the following method just below the view did load. And so it was the @ IBA action, then func, and they use unwind to red, but you can call it anything you want. We can call it, how about we call it go back, like that, go back. And then this is an unwind segue, unwind segue, like that. And then it needs to go back to UI story board segue, like that. And then of course the round bracket is there. And then we go like that. That's okay with the error message because we haven't bounded to anything yet. You haven't bounded to anything yet. Then we go over here to the back button and we hold down the control key and click here, right? No, it's not working. Hold on a minute. Oh, I'm running out of time. Let me go get my signatures. I'll come back. Remember the red one, right? Somebody read this and figure it out. I'll be right back. Let me go get my signatures. But that should be how to go back. Remember that? Didn't you guys do the red colored one? Maybe open that one up and look at the code. I'll be back in 10 minutes.